family of the late Martin Wildes Wonder and Mrs. Christiana Chukwu of Obosi Ogun Community in Ohosa, local government area of Ebonyi State, Nigeria. Dr. Chukwu's academic journey is both diverse and inspiring. He began his education at Mini Haha Primary School in Ladada High School in Biu. He earned a national diploma in mechanical engineering and a higher national diploma in farm power and machinery from Ramat Polytechnic, Maiduguri, in 2006 and 2010, respectively. A lifelong learner, he went on to obtain a postgraduate diploma in education from Sir Karim Ibrahim College of Education, Maiduguri, 2012. A bachelor's degree in forestry and wildlife, honors from University of Maiduguri, 2015. An MSc in forest resources management with a major in forest biometric and remote sensing from the University of Ibadan, 2017. A PhD in renewable natural resources with a major in forest biometrics and information systems from the University of Ibadan, 2023. Dr. Chukwu has authored over 55 research publications with over 180 citations in international and local peer-reviewed journals, conferences, proceedings, and chapters in book. He co-edited 5 books of proceedings, 2 magazines, and a textbook. His research interest lies in applying mathematical statistics, ICT, GIS, and econometric engineering principles to provide solutions to nature conservation, climate change, and sustainable development problems. Dr. Chukwu has held several leadership positions, which amongst them are President, National Association of Igbo Students, NAIS, Rampolo 2009, President, Forest and Wildlife Student Association, UNIMED 2014, Chairman, Internal Forestry Students Association, INSA, Germany, UNIMED Chapter 2014, Founder, Green Initiative for Humanitarian Aid and Development, Green Hide, Nigeria, 2017. Founder and co-coordinator, Oka Bird Club, Anambra State, 2019 till date. Deputy Media Coordinator, Anglican Church of Redemption, Oka, Akora Media, 2021 till date. ICT Officer, Quantity Assurance Officer, Postgraduate Coordinator, Chairman Handbook and Self-Study Committee, Chairman Curriculum Committee, Student Staff Advisor, Department of Forestry and Wildlife, Unity. At the faculty level, part of his community services as an academic, Dr. Chukwu's goal is to be a key player in achieving the United Nations SDGs in Nigeria. Hence, he founded an NGO, Green Initiative for Humanitarian Aid and Development, Green Hide. Green Hide mission is to approach development, community service, humanitarian response, and nature conservation with environmentally friendly solutions while sustaining social equality. Beyond the shores of Nigeria, Dr. Chukwu is an external jury examiner to the International Sustainability Academy, Germany. He is currently postgraduate supervisor in the University of Greenswald, Germany. Dr. Chukwu is happily married to Mrs. Asafat Onyekachi Chukwu. The marriage is blessed with a daughter, son Chukwu Onyekachi Chukwu. His impact in peaceful coexistence earned him a traditional chieftaincy title in 2010, Obata Obie and Peace Ambassador of Nigeria in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our keynote speaker of the day, Dr. Onyekachi Chukwu.
If you go to the Abri TV, you will be hearing former this, former that, former that, former this, former that, former that, intended this, intended. That's a wonderful one. While we were the acting vice chancellor, the deputy vice chancellor was to take over the microphone, we had the chairman of this occasion. He just walked in, Dr. Eze Oganihu Ihon Marcelinus Chukwuka, KSSI, ably represented by Dr. Edwin Oha Ewiro, the president of Association of Medical Lab Scientists of Nigeria. Also, one of our resource persons is here with us, Dr. Lubila Ngoye Imelda, from the Department of Pharmacology and Therapeutics, Faculty of Basic Clinical Sciences. You are welcome. I hand over the mic. Good morning. Sincerely speaking, I'm not really a protocol person. But of course, this is an international program that cuts across Africa. And of course, sometimes we have to constrain ourselves to do protocol. Thank you very much. My name, as we said, I'm Dr. Onyekachi Chukwu, presently the head of the Department of Forestry and Wildlife University. I'll be your keynote speaker today. Please, I just want you to pay just right attention and don't look at my age. I intentionally removed my date of birth because at times when I mention my age, some elderly persons might feel discouraged to hearing what I want to say. Please don't look at the messenger, but just focus on the message. Please, if we are not too tired, I just want us to do a little exercise and we go on. Just stand on your feet. Please, I'm not being disrespectful. Okay, let's just go this way. Okay, this way again. It's okay, thank you very much. You know, one thing we fail to understand is that exercise is very, very important. And these days, several things are happening. We are so engrossed to our job that we forget about exercising. So please, no matter how small, try just to exercise yourself. So the theme of this program is advancement in scientific discoveries and artificial intelligence in Africa. Of course, within the team, I decided to pick a particular topic, unlocking Africans' potential. Of course, catalyst is something that does not actually take part, but it fastens the reaction and does affect either the results or the reactions. So what we are about doing here to just to help us catalyze. So the Vice Chancellor in absentia, represented by Deputy Vice Chancellor Professor J.U.J. Owen, the Principal Officers of the Universities, His Excellencies, the Royal Majesties, the guest speakers and fellow resource persons, the chairman of the National Association of Academic Technologists,
University of Nigeria,
Temple Sam Omogwe, comrade chairpersons of other unions here, our distinguished technologists, staff of the university community, gentlemen and ladies, distinguished guests, organizers, respected colleagues like the ones I came with, my colleagues from Nnamdi University, scientists, students, partners in development, distinguished guests from all over Africa. You know why I keep emphasizing Africa is each time we are doing program, you mustn't be here in this hall to be able to follow whatever we are doing. And of course, I believe this program is either being aired or so, but I usually come with my own backup. So I'm also live on YouTube presenting this program. So of course, from wherever you are calling or watching from, I greet you and good morning. So I have a background. It is with immense honor and humility that I accept this invitation to deliver the keynote address at the first International Scientific and Technological Conference to workshop here in University of Nigeria. This is my first time of coming to University of Nigeria, either at the Suka campus or at the Union campus. So this program is unique for me. Being somebody that grew up in the northern part of Nigeria, Maiduguri, went to school in the premier university, University of Ibadan, and working in Oka, Southeast. You know, it is remarkable for me to come to this university that my alma mater will always drag first with. Today, University of Ibadan will say the premier university, and UNN will say, that's University of Nigeria will say the first indigenous university. Either of it, today I'm a guest speaker in the University of Nigeria. How I wish that I will also add a feather of the University of Nigeria to the feather I have, so that either being the first indigenous or be the premier, I am always in the Ivy League. So maybe at the end of this program, we look at the way we find a program for me, so that I also be inducted as one of the lions. Coming from the Department of Forestry and Wildlife, I understand what a wild animal is and understand the strength of a lion. I commend the organizers for the foresight to anchor this pioneering edition of this theme that captures the pulse of the era. What you are discussing today, artificial intelligence, is what is in vogue. And this your program is just at the right time. Indeed, we stand at the crossroads of digital resonance and scientific awakening. Whether you like it or not, my 2-year-old daughter knows how to operate phone, and a year child can operate unlock your phone. This is the era, and whether we like it or not, as elderly people, we need to catch up with the era. Otherwise, you'll be expired. You only have your BSc, PhD, and whatever, and you are expired. And you believe with me because you are working in an academic environment. You know there are so many people that their certificate are expired. They are no more in vogue. You can be a professor, you can be a doctor, you can be a whatever, you can be a chief technologist, but an expired one that is just waiting for the date of retirement. Now, across African continent, we are witnessing growing wave of innovation from climate-smart agriculture to biomedical breakthrough, renewable energy technologies, and AI-driven solutions tailored to African reality. The message is clear. Africa is not waiting for the future. We are creating the future. No wonder the Bible says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so it is. That is why I know this program is for the whole Africa, and I keep saying Africa, despite the fact I know most of the attendants are from the Southeast, but I see this program as an international program. And if we have said it, and that is what it is. Let's look at Africa at the moment, the turning point challenges into opportunity. Because gone are those times that we keep talking about challenges. We need to start looking at how to turn our challenges to opportunity. Now, Africa is a continent of ironies. We are faced with pressing development challenges. Everywhere you go, we have development issues, climate vulnerability, health disparity, food insecurity, and digital divides. Yet, within these challenges lies opportunity of homegrown scientific discoveries and deployment of technology. I bet you that the condition you are working in today in any Nigerian university, nobody can work in that kind of condition anywhere. Nobody can work in that condition and still have any result anywhere in Europe. But Africans, we are just so talented that we find a way of moving on, even with the little, creating bigger things. Today, African researchers are leading in advancement in disease detection, using genomic tools, developing AI models for early warning systems in flood-prone areas, and even revolutionizing our indigenous knowledge through data-driven platforms. This is our African moment, a time to move from dependence to self-determination. We have to determine on ourselves, okay? To move from consumption to creation, and from marginalization to leadership. We can't stand and say every day that we are marginalized. Even within the marginalization, it is a time to take leadership within even that marginalization. So it's a time to take leadership in science and artificial intelligence. Briefly, before I go to my main address, AI scientific discoveries should be an ally, not a replacement. You know, so many people have fears that AI is here to replace people. Of course, if we have watched trends of times, we discover that we have different generations. And different generations come with different things. There was a time that we had cyber cafe. I could remember in my own time. I thank God I am the bridge between the ancient and modern. You know, as an Anglican, there is a hymn we use, we call it ancient and modern. How am I ancient and modern? I'm not a old person and I'm not a new person. I saw when Nigeria was little good, when things were done a little bit manually, to now that we're in the digital age. So I see myself as an ancient and modern person. I remember when we go to cafes, when I fill my jam form, you feel jam form is the most difficult form you feel in the world. Okay? That is why when somebody is asking you any question, the way you describe a difficult question is on a jam, or they feel a jam form. Because you can't, as a secondary school student, tell me how many of you fill your jam form by yourself. You have to look for a smart secondary school teacher who knows that in the jam form there's a place you use HB pencil, there's a place you use 3D pencil, there's a place you fill different forms. But today, these things have changed. So artificial intelligence, when thoughtfully developed and ethically applied, holds immense promise to African transformation. From the natural resource management to precision medicine. These days in medicine, you don't take so much drugs. You look at what you need, and deliver precise what that your body needs. And that is it. So, from education to urban planning, AI is taking over a lot of things. Okay, AI can help us bridge the gap and accelerate progress. So, but here, let us be clear. AI must be an enabler, not a substitute. Let's think very well. AI should be an enabler, not being a substitute for African intellect, our ethics, and our human-oriented or centered innovation. By the time you are using artificial intelligence to be a replacement, that is the day you start going down. And whether we like it or not, the common open AI is the ChatGPT. So many of us rely on it, even up to when we want to buy something in the market. It's gradually becoming a substitute for you instead of an enabler. So we must shape AI not to replace past biases,
but to correct historical imbalances. Especially in Africa, there are so many historical imbalances. So AI should not be the one. I saw so many people when they're arguing, they will just go to AI and type. Not minding that AI, the algorithm has been designed in such a way that it gives you a specific answer. Somebody that is from Okosi Oku in my village in Ebonyi State will now go and ask AI the history of Okosi Oku. It is what is programmed that will tell you. And they use it as a yardstick. I even asked AI, look at it. If there was a time it was Google, somebody has said, oh, Google, yeah. That you Googled it. Computer works with garbage in, garbage out. It is something that people has infused there that you also get. Just that AI this time around has been programmed to learn. Okay, so there's something called machine learning. So it has an ability to mimic human being. So Africa must not only adopt AI, but must localize and lead in developing AI solutions that reflect our language first, our environment, and our priorities. So we should adopt, localize it, and lead in the innovation. So science, technology, AI, and policy measures. For science discovery, technological implementation and artificial intelligence to yield real impact, we must intentionally collaborate between researchers, policymakers, entrepreneurs, technologists, and the civil society. So now, this one I've done is for unlocking Africans' potential, because you people said Africa. So now let me conclude, because I believe in thinking global and acting local. Because ever anywhere and Friday. Okay, when we get to heaven, of course, we will do like angels. Let's look at what we have here. So let me come back home. I am a technologist by trade, having acquired a national and a higher national diploma in engineering from Ramat Polytechnic, one of the oldest polytechnics in Nigeria. Having worked in the technology space before joining the university system as a lecturer, I see myself as a technologist lecturer. This is a story for another day, okay? But let's carry on moving. So let's look at the vital role of university-based technologies. You know, we have different technologies, but there are universities, because every technologist has its peculiar problem. Let's look at our university-based technologies. So as we talk about research, breakthrough, and artificial intelligence, let us pause and recognize an often underappreciated pillar of our scientific ecosystem, which is the university technologists or the technologists working in our university. This is a sad story, but of course I have to gather enough courage to present this keynote address. Now, technologies are the backbone of our laboratories, workshop, our farm, research farms, our forest fields, and computing centers. They translate theory into practice. They calibrate equipment. They maintain field trials. They run simulations, and they provide technical backbone for sustained innovation. In the context of AI and advanced scientific discovery, technologies are now more important than any other time. You know, now that we use AI, most people that design AI are supposed to be the technologists, because you are at the back end. You know, in computer programming, there's something we call the back end and the front end. Now, the back end are the people that do that thing that you see at the front end. The front end is just called the end user. Of course, most of our lecturers are end users. What somebody has produced, the SPSS you are using to run analysis is not developed by you. The R you are using to run analysis is not developed by you. You rely on the results of a technologist that have run soil analysis for you to use in developing whatsoever solution. That means you are at the front end. You are like an end user, not the creator. People at the back end are the creators. But of course, what is happening is like a premier force, where the hunter becomes the hunted. Somebody who is supposed to be leading is now being led. But of course, before the end of this advert, probably neither maybe ministry no people. So let's continue. So in this context, the technologies help to build and maintain infrastructure and enable high performance computing, data acquisition, real-time monitoring, machine learning applications. So in many cases, they are quiet innovators. I see technologies as quiet innovators that don't make noise. Why are they not making noise? I will tell you. If that being quiet is an advantage, I will tell you. Because I'm here, I'm a realist. I'm here to say things the way they are. They are quiet innovators, they are crafting local solutions, and when imported solutions fall short. That is why when you go, a Nigerian technologist that is a mechanical engineer or a technologist in the mechanical engineering can take the carburetor of a G-Wagon, the carburetor of a Camry, do something in it that you don't know, and G-Wagon will use it. That is an imported technology. But when it falls short, a Nigerian technology has a way. I don't know how God gave us that ability, because the white man do replacements. When something is wrong, bring it out and replace it. So, but we are not taking advantage of this our natural initiative. So Nigeria must train, equip, and empower its technologies, giving them the access to upscaling programs, digital tools, career development advancement. So let us integrate technologies fully into our research framework. How I wish the Deputy Vice Chancellor is here, because at times when you're saying some things, you need to say it people in authority. Of course, I'm a digital person, I'm taking this, and I will still make it go viral in my own way. So, not as a support staff. I don't see technologists as a support staff. I've never seen technologists as a support staff, and I will never see technologists as a support staff. Because not placing things where they are is actually a problem. But as a core contribution to scientific process, I'm wrapping up already. Now, I have my personal perspective. Please, this is my personal perspective, and as a Nigerian, I'm covered by the law to share my personal opinion. If it doesn't go well with you, of course, please just bear with me. At times, truth is very harsh, and we just have to take the reality. So I mark this session, lapses of university-based technologies. If you have pen, please, you can take it. Having served in the university system in different capacities, from a casual staff, I actually started in the university as a casual staff for about a year and not paid dime. I was just working and taking students practical and whatever. Because I have the knowledge, I just needed a platform to express that knowledge. So from a casual staff to a lecturer, and now a head of department, I have a first-hand experience interacting with university-based technologies across all or various levels. While, of course, the NATS chairman of our university is a friend. So I go close to technologists, I hear from technologists. In my department, I think the closest people to me actually my technologists. And even as head of department, the people I work with most are the technologists. So I can tell one from experience. So while we have so many of the technologies that are dedicated and skilled, I have also observed some persistent lapses that limit their efficiency or effectiveness and potential contribution to the academic and the institutional development. These observations are not meant to indict anybody. Please, this is a claimer. This my observation is not to indict anybody. I know I'm covered by the law to express my opinion, but to highlight areas that requires introspection and collective reform. So I don't know. I will start one. First is attitude to work, the laissez-faire approach. A common concern is the casual or indifferent attitude exhibited by some technologists towards their duty. There is often lack of urgency accountability and initiative, which slows down academic workflow and weakens the quality of practical training for students. The first thing we need to understand as technologists is that the highest currency we have in university is the student. The day you stop appearing in the presence of the students as a university academic, or that day is the day you start appearing from the system. The people that validate you, the people that gives you accolades are the students, because it is because of the students you are here. So if you have grown to the level that you don't meet students again, I pity you. Try as much as possible. Remember our former Vice Chancellor, even as a Vice Chancellor, he still does his lecture, and he's the highest cited person in unity throughout his VCC. He does his PhD, whatever, MSc, even as a Vice Chancellor, because he understands that the currency you have in the university is the student. I will let you know. So, the laissez-faire approach is one thing I've noticed about technologies. Another thing is poor recognition of self-worth. Most of the technologies I've interacted with have not recognized their own self-worth. When you don't recognize the worth of this microphone, you will see it as a normal black thing. Please, I want to be practical in delivering this my point. So many technologies do not seem to understand the value and the critical role they play in the academic system. You see it as a normal government work. I'm assigned to maybe a laboratory or a clinic. I come and do my thing and I go. University is a community. You must get involved to be relevant. You know, even in lectures, I used to wonder when they are vying for vice chancellorship, I will see some professors supporting another professor to be a vice chancellor. Does it mean that EC gave a plot? Does it mean that the school gave a plot? Does it mean that your own professor is an inferior? Somebody do another person this. How can you maybe that you went to a better university, you went to maybe the person even joined the university later than when you came, but because the person has been visible, the person has actually demonstrated a capacity that even you now see yourself as inferior. Let us push this person. Why would it not be you that will be pushed? Okay, so many of us don't see the critical role and the under appreciation of their contribution. Many technologies, even on their self, under appreciate themselves. If you know them well, there is nothing sorry I'm speaking about my ego, and of course I'm not ashamed of it. So many people don't even appreciate their own output. It is from the way you appreciate yourself that another person appreciates you. So don't ever sit down and start crying that we are marginalized. You first marginalized yourself before somebody saw it. I remember one of our Igbo adage, yes, when you see your plate and you feel that it looks like it was big, everybody will always use it to pack debt. So that thing is leading to a diminishing morale and motivation and reinforcement in their stagnation. You find out that most technologies are stagnated. Stagnation doesn't mean that they are not promoted. Every 3 years, they're promoted. At a point when I became head of department, I said, if I'm a technologist, I will revolt on our models of branding, of appraisal. How can you be appraising me? You call me an academic. You are appraising me on neatness, cooperation with staff. Is that an indices? Laziness? You know, yes, it is a free home thing that after every 3 years you be promoted because there is no indices that is holding you accountable. Okay, so you end up seeing your promotion, you're not seeing it as a big thing. That is why when a lecturer moves from lecturer 1 to senior lecturer, he does what? He celebrates it. Why? Because the indices that takes him there, some have to, one area or whatever. That is what gives you a value. I told myself, if I was a technologist, I would go because it will make me stand up. It will make many people sit up. Now let me look at another one, alignment with the non-academic component of the university. This is a very big problem I discovered in the university. Many technologists go to align with the non-academic component. component of the university. Whether we like it or not, in the university, there is the academic and the non-academic. It's not everybody that works in the bank that is a banker. It's a sad reality that we need to just accept. But most of us, instead of aligning with the academic aspects of the university, we are aligning with the non-academic. That is why, by the time you stay in the general office so much, I will tell you, now, please help me photocopy this. Photocopy it. Gradually, gradually, because you become a supporter instead of being it. But you are the one that took yourself. That mentality is what is making the person see you that way. So you find out that rather than aligning with the academic mission of the institution, many technologists gravitate towards the administrative and non-academic block. These alignments often dilutes the technical focus and distances them from teaching, research, and innovation, which should be the core mandate. Another one is inability to delay gratification. I have problems with this. I've worked with so many technologies. I will take a sample to you. I will take my student to you for lab analysis or whatever. Then you will charge the student, right? Or you will charge me. Okay, if I've paid you, you have sold your intellectual property. You don't have any right on that work. So meaning that I'm using your brain to shine. Because of the little 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 thereabouts, the money for the analysis. Instead of collaborating to say, no, I know what aims me ownership. Because many of our research as technologists, many of our innovations have been patented. But because you have been paid off, there's no way your name will come into the patents. Many of these patents are paying royalties every day. But because at the process when the research is coming up, because at that process of lab, you don't know what the research will become. You don't know what that innovation will become. It is at that process you become a partner instead of somebody that will be paid off. So if you don't want, and it's because you don't see the future, if you delay gratification, understand where this research is going, you say, no, I won't do this research for money. I will do it on one condition. Let me be part of this research. And we invest together and we keep growing. So there is noticeable. Okay, I won't even take up at that time. Thank you very much. Another one is low interest in research collaboration. So most of the ones I've interacted, they don't have no interest. It is that duty. You know, it is technologists in the university will tell you, that will always tell you its job function. It is technology that will always tell you, if I borrow my duty. Then, what makes you an academic is not only that's your work, it's other things you do in the university, which is, and many technologists don't also understand that teaching is part of their core mandate in the university. Because what are you doing in the lab if it's not teaching? As somebody who has postgraduate diploma in education, I understand there are different methods of teaching. Okay, so lecturing is just one out of the many methods of teaching. And by the time you give a technology a teaching role or whatever, it will tell you bluntly that it's not my thing. And of course, he that fights comes to equity must come with a clean hand. You need recognition. And at any slight opportunity that you get that recognition, you are repressive, you are resisting it. I don't know where that is coming from. Another thing is repulsive attitude towards academic responsibility. I've said that. Another thing is lack of personal development and capacity building. There are so many people that have never attended their association, as a not welfare association, their professional association for the past 10 years. You don't know trends of things in SLT. You don't know trends of things in mechanical engineering. As a mechanical engineer, as a technologist, because I'm also a member of Nigerian Institute of Agricultural Engineers. After my discussion with him, I started searching on how to reactivate, because I have HND. I can be a correct certified look through the National Institute of Technology, NATI, Technologists in Engineering. Another thing is viewing technology cadre as a transit to lecturership. This is a very big problem. Many people that are in technologies today are not here because they want to be a technologist. They came here because there is no job. And their aim is to become a lecturer. And by the time your aim is not in what you are doing, there is no how you will give in and become the best. And that is another problem in the technology space. By the time somebody comes in, you train him, gradually he gets masters, he will leave that field. And that cycle, I think that's a very big problem to NATS. Bringing people to the system, breed them, before you know it, they left. And I had a very tough experience with people that have left technologies. They are usually the wicked lecturers. Sorry to say, most of them that I've met. This is my personal opinion. Because the way they now treat technologies when they become lecturers, you'll be wondering, is it not this my company? This one helped financial sector. This one helps society in that. Is it that because he just became a lecturer, something just happened? And the way he will treat you as a technologist will tell you. So it is a call for us to actually look at what we want to be. My last point is lack of passion for the job. Okay? No matter what you are doing, if you lack passion for it, there's a problem. So I don't just talk about problem, I talk about solution. I have my homegrown solution that I have tried and it's working for me to allow innovative and independent thinking among technologists. When I came in as HOD, the first thing I did was to call my technologists, make this person chairman, make this person secretary, tell them within socio-modes, organize a symposium. Let's bring resource persons. You know, that was the first technology symposium in our university. And that symposium gave birth to, because we invited our dean, when she came, she said, wow, she organized a faculty-wide one, where our comrade chair was one of the resource persons. And it was on that day I met him for the first time. And we were discussing, I've never been to UNN. He said, one day you will be in UNN. I was just laughing, because I was looking at possibilities. And one day he called me and said, you will be speaking in a technologies conference. Another one is integration of technologies into academic and administrative roles. I've also tried that. When I came in as HOD, all the positions you know in the departments, a technologist is the assistant, from exam officer, ICT officer, down to lecturing. It is that my regime as HOD that witnessed the first time when we are doing course allocation. Your name as technologist is appearing officially from the on-go. So meaning you are also a stakeholder in that course. You decide to teach it or to bring out the practical component of the course.